Welcome to the English Language Arts and Mathematics 3 through 8 Testing Guides webinar. This portion of the webinar is based on the Math 3 through 8. The Mathematics Assessments 3 through 8 are based on the shifts in mathematics to include focus, coherence, fluency, deep understanding, application, and dual intensity. The important changes are fewer questions, shorter administration times, clarification to the rubrics and scoring policies, and a change in content emphasis in Grade 8. In Grade 3, there are 4 critical areas: developing an understanding of multiplication and division and strategies for multiplication and division within 100, developing understanding of fractions, especially unit fractions, fractions with numerator 1, developing an understanding of the structure of rectangular arrays and of area, and describing and analyzing two-dimensional shapes. Grade 3 testing sessions and times. There are 3 books over 3 days for a total estimated time on task of 130 minutes. Please note that days 1 and 2 you need to allow for 60 minutes and day 3 70 minutes. The test design for Grade 3 is multiple choice, short answer, and extended response. In the blueprint, Grade 4 also has 3 critical areas: multiplication and division, fractions, and geometric figures. Grade 4 testing sessions and times, 3 books, 3 days, total estimated time on task 150 minutes. And again, please note days 1 and 2 you need to allow for 60 minutes, and day 3 your schedule needs to allow for 90 minutes. Grades 4 through 5 test design, multiple choice, short response, and extended. Grade 4 blueprint, Grade 5, there are 3 critical areas: number and operations, fractions, number and operations in base 10, and measurement and data, volume. Grade 5 testing sessions and times, 3 books, 3 days, 150 minutes total estimated time, and again, allow day 1 and 2 for 80 minutes and day 3 90 minutes. In Grade 5 blueprint, Grade 6, there are 4 critical areas: connecting ratio and rate to whole number multiplication and division, completing understanding of division of fractions and extending the notion of number to the system of rational numbers, writing, interpreting, and using expressions and equations, and developing understanding of statistical thinking. Grades 6 through 8 testing sessions and times, 3 books, 3 days, total estimated time on task is 150 minutes. Day 1 and 2 you need to schedule for 80 minutes, and day 3 90 minutes. Grade 6 blueprint, Grade 7, there are 4 critical areas of study: developing understanding of and applying proportional relationships, developing understanding of operations with rational numbers and working with expressions and linear equations, solving problems involving scale drawings and informal geometric constructions, and working with 2 and 3 dimensional shapes to solve problems involving area, surface area, and volume, drawing inferences about populations based on samples. Grades 6 through 8 test design, again 3 books, multiple choice, short response, and extended response. Grade 7 blueprint, Grade 8 has 3 critical areas of study: formulating and reasoning about expressions and equations, including modeling and association, grasping the concept of function and using functions, and analyzing 2 and 3 dimensional space and figures using distance, angle, similarity, congruence, and understanding and applying the Pythagorean theorem. Grade 8 blueprint. When students have completed their test, proctors are to encourage the students to go back and check their work. When the students say they are done, the examination materials must be collected by the proctor. The student may be permitted to read silently, while there is no talking and no other schoolwork is permitted during this time. The question formats are multiple choice, short response, and extended response. The multiple choice questions assess standard algorithms and conceptual standards, incorporate both standards and standards for mathematical practices, some real-world applications. They complete multiple steps, and distractors will all be based on plausible missteps. The short response questions are 2-point questions. Students complete a task and show their work. They require multiple steps. There's an application of multiple mathematics skills and real-world applications, and both conceptual and application standards. The extended response questions are 3-point questions. Students complete 2 or more tasks or a more extensive problem, which include mathematical procedures, conceptual understanding, application, student reasoning, and the ability to critique the arguments of others. Sample questions are at the link posted. The 2-point holistic rubric. And note in the scoring policies at the bottom, scoring policies provided for past New York State tests will not apply to the 2014 Common Core Mathematics test. The new scoring policies are provided on page 12. The 3-point holistic rubric. The 2014 2- and 3-point mathematics scoring policy. And here's the change that we found is they have eliminated from the scoring policies. If the question requires students to show their work and the student shows appropriate work and arrives at the correct answer but writes an incorrect answer in the blank, the student should not receive full credit. That was in 2013. So that's been eliminated. But added to the scoring policies for 2014 is the condition code A. And this is whenever a student who is present for a test session leaves an entire constructed response question in that session completely blank, no response, nothing is written in that area, that's a code A. The 0 is when the student does respond to the question and there's no work that can be scored. There's nothing that equals any points. That's a 0. So again, here's another slide that says the same thing. The mathematics tools is students will use appropriate tools strategically on page 13. This comes right from the Educator's Guide, and mathematically proficient students consider the available tools when solving a mathematical problem. In grades 3 through 5, the math tools. Note that the symbols will not appear on the test. That's new. So grade 3 must have the use of a ruler for the entire test, no calculators. Grade 4 must have the use of the ruler for the entire test and a protractor and no calculators. Grade 5, they need the ruler the entire test, the protractor, no calculators. Grade 6, the ruler for the entire test and the protractor. Book 1, calculators are not allowed, but books 2 and 3, the 4-function calculator with a square root key or a scientific calculator. Graphing calculators are not permitted in grade 6. And again, note, the symbols will not appear on the test for the students. Grades 7 and 8, again, the ruler and the protractor. Calculators not allowed in Book 1. In Books 2 and 3, the scientific calculator. Graphing calculators not permitted. And then the rule with the value of pi. And there are also reference sheets for grades 5 through 8. This is a Ken Wagner memo for the 2014 grades 3 through 8 educator guides. This information is covered in these PowerPoints, but here it is for you so that you have access to it. And again, it has the link for the testing guides. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a great day.